Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 21 June Community Update. We have a packed agenda today, so we will move through it rather quickly. Just a reminder, if you have questions, please wait for the microphone to come to you before you ask your question, because we record this and we put it up on the website so people can watch it after the fact, and we want to make sure we capture all the questions. So at this time, before we get started with Colonel Morgan's remarks, I would like Mrs. Patty Morgan to come up, please. So if you're not aware, Patty Morgan is the Joint Base Garrison Commander's spouse, and this is her last update today. So on behalf of the Directorate of Family Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, we have a certificate of appreciation presented to Patty Morgan for your outstanding support to the Directorate of Family Morale, Welfare, and Recreation from June 2015 through July 2017. Your dedication and commitment to ensuring our Joint Base Lewis McChord families receive the best possible support and service is very much appreciated. Your guidance and ideas have helped move many programs forward with good outcomes. We wish you the best, and thank you for all that you do to support our military families. So thank you very much, Patty. Sir?
Okay, it's nothing like giving your wife your own award. So, Mike, do you have anything you want to say at all?
I'll say a thing or two after you get there.
Okay, all right. So, real quick, how many people here just took command, or a new spouse or anything that's here? And I know a lot of people aren't really here right now. Yeah, and there's not many. Look, so I know there's a lot of op-tempo things going on with bayonet focus, and normally the room here is pretty full. A lot of transition going on, and then also coming into the summer, PCS season, and a lot of kids home from school, increased stress. My wife and I, we're ready for our kids to go back to school. It's been 3 days. And I know there's Larry. I saw Larry. There's only a couple of us that are left. There is wholesale change on JBLM, not just on the Army side, but also on the Air Force side as well. So a lot of change going on based off of July 4th, and a variety of other things that are going on is when we put this particular community update. Not necessarily ideal, but there were some competing things that came up inside the window once we had scheduled it, like the Evergreen Cruise, which everybody seems to jump on and go away. But again, for those of you that are new, this is your opportunity to come in here and tell us what you need to hear or learn or require from your Joint Base Garrison, no matter Lewis, Maine, Lewis North, or McChord. So we can kind of level the bubble, because it's your base and we're here to do this on your behalf and provide the programs, services, and capabilities that you need. It might be individual, it might be unit specific, but some of them are going to be driven by command priorities by Colonel Kaczynski with the Air Force side of their programs and services that they need for their airmen, or with regards to General Volesky and the Corps, or across the entire spectrum of the entire base. So we're trying to bring you into balance, and that's what this meeting's about, as well as giving you information with regards to some of the things that you need to pass down to your FRGs. This is the information that you take to build your FRG briefings all the way down to the company level, along with whatever the commanders want to add. So this is just kind of shows how we do this. Feedback is a gift. I keep saying that over and over and over. This is my last one as well, so some of the messaging may change a little bit. You all find that out. I won't be here. Slide, please. These are our Community Health Promotion Council priorities, and this is what we focus on. These are some of those things that are driven top down to you, based off of the guidance that we received from General Volesky, and then with regards to specific things on the Air Force from Colonel Kaczynski. And you can see them over here on the right, and some of those are tied. If you look at the first one, some of those are tied to a PCS season, financial fitness, and being able to have your finances prepared for transition when you're moving, because you know that we always end up spending more money than you have when you move. That's just an example. So slide, please. So real quick, General Valesky is out of town, and so is the DCG. So Mike Fuller's here, and then Colonel Snelson, the vice commander for the wing. So I'll turn it over to them real quick.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, I'll just build very quickly on a couple of things Colonel Morgan said, and it's related to both transition and op-tempo in the 1st Corps headquarters. We have a number of senior leaders transitioning. Started last week with Sergeant Major Grinston and our brand new Corps Command Sergeant Major Tagalakud. I probably said that wrong. Everyone calls him Sergeant Major Tag because it's a difficult last name to pronounce. So if you have not been aware of that, that change occurred last week, and his lovely bride is here with us today. So welcome to the JBLM community and the community update. Secondly, we have our Canadian Deputy Commanding General is departing. General Fortin and his wife Madeline headed back to Canada, and we will receive a new Canadian DCG at the end of this month, Brigadier General San Louis, and it's spelled like St. Louis. So in any case, he will be joining the 1st Corps team with his family this summer. Additionally, Major General Stammer and his wife Donna are departing us to head down. He's going to take command of U.S. Army South in San Antonio, and we'll get Brigadier General promotable Jeff Milhorn, the USARPAC G357, will come in to be the 1st Corps Deputy Commanding General around about the 1st week of August, is when that transition will all occur. And then finally, our Corps Chief of Staff departed last month, Colonel Joe Walrow. We'll be getting a new Chief of Staff on the 10th of July. Colonel Mario Diaz is going to join us. He's coming from being the Assistant Division Commander for support of the 25th ID, and he will come in and join us to be the 1st Corps Chief of Staff on the 10th of July. So lots of change, and that's only the folks in the command group. Out of the 26 colonels on the Corps staff, we'll turn over 14 of them this summer. So you'll see a lot of new faces eventually, and I say eventually because next I'll talk about some of the op-tempo, which is back-to-back for the 1st Corps headquarters, literally until January of 18, and that will involve many of you in the room because a lot of your units go and support the Corps and train with the Corps when they go on these events around the Pacific. So the 5th of July, they will deploy a large number of folks from the Corps to Australia for Talisman Sabre 17. They'll get back the end of July, take a couple of weeks of opportunity leave, and then immediately deploy to Korea for Ulchi Freedom Guardian, an annual exercise in the Republic of Korea, which, as you can imagine watching the news today, is growingly more important and more intense in terms of the number of people participating in that exercise. The Corps will return from that after Labor Day and get back and immediately begin training for the 1st Corps Warfighter, which will also occur in the Republic of Korea, where the entire Corps TAC and main CP will redeploy to Korea in October and November for Corps Warfighter, and then take just a knee briefly to go back to Japan for Yamasakura 73 in Japan for the first 2 weeks of December. So all of that said, you'll meet all the new folks in 1st Corps at the January 18 community update. In the meantime, call if you need anything, and thanks for everything you're all doing.
Steve, anything? You're good? All right. So real quick, before we go to the next slide, I talked to General Valesky before he took off. Again, to reiterate, look, I understand bayonet focus and op-tempo and requirements, so that's okay. But as this is the community update, it's his meeting, it's Colonel Kaczynski's meeting with regards to the airmen and the Air Force commanders, so it's a commander's program, as you all well know, with regards to the Family Readiness Group structure, and this is how it feeds down into the families, as well as getting a continued reiteration of the commander priorities with regards to JBLM. Of note, the Corps and our command are developing with the Wing 2 the JBLM campaign plan, which is tied to the prioritization of infrastructure, family programs, protecting the installation, and a variety of other things, so we can start getting more priorities from you and feedback and addressing solutions to some of the problems that you have. That'll come out probably later on this summer, but it's something that we've been looking to try to get for a while, and I think it'll really help nest everybody together as we move forward. So real quick, slide. I'm going to turn it over here to DES, but real quick, we're kind of focusing on a couple things. So we're talking about verbal domestic quote-unquote assaults, verbal, ones where there's not a physical contact. We're getting increased verbal assaults, left of the slap. Why? Because we're getting near the spring, we're getting near the summer, more people are home, PCS season's upon us, and we're tracking it now. So, how come there's no IEDs? Why are there IEDs here in this particular area? Well, we're here now, we weren't there, a year ago. So, but we are tracking it as well, and we're getting increased numbers, which is good, because some of the physical ones are going down, so we might actually be getting ahead of the curve. But it doesn't change the fact, though, that we are seeing increased numbers being reported into family advocacy with regards to some of the verbal type domestic situations. And child abuse and neglect is increasing as well because they're coming home from school, and we just want to get ahead of the power curve for this summer. And so there's some unique things that we have here that are available for you to help you do that. Washington State drivers stuff, we are at par or even more aggressive with regards to Washington State driver speeding, aggressive driving. And for being a more disciplined institution in the United States with who we are as a Department of Defense, we should be below that. We should be below that, and we're not. And we're getting into the summer season, and we're going to see some increases on that. So these are some of the things that we're going to kind of talk about today with your experts. So for those of you who don't know, over here on my right, your left, are your directors and deputy directors that work underneath our command for you. And so they're here to answer any of your questions. And if you don't have any questions, it's going to end up being an A to B conversation. You're going to yawn, you're going to start to doze off. We can turn the heat up, and we'll see how well it goes. Or you can just have a dialogue back and forth. So I'll turn it over here to the DES director. So.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Matt Toth. I'm the Deputy Director of Emergency Services here. I'm going to show you two slides, one dealing with speed and one dealing with distracted driving. But I need to walk you into this first slide so you understand Colonel Morgan's concern and our concern. We constantly compare ourselves against the local communities when it comes to law enforcement and crime. It's critical for us to kind of get a measure. Our crime rate is about 83% less than what you would find in Tacoma, Lakewood, Puyallup, those kinds of places. So we have a very, very safe community here. There's some reasons for that, obviously. Number one, we're a gated community. Number two, we're a guarded gate community. Number three, we get to vet the people who get to join our tribe. So we have some pretty high standards for service personnel coming on board. And we get to kick off the island the ones we really don't like and don't want. The city of Lakewood can't bar people who commit crimes in Lakewood. We can. So whenever we see a stat that makes us look equal to the surrounding community, we get concerned. And the one area where we are concerned right now is what we're calling aggressive driving and speed. I'm not going to read the slide behind you. It's got some interesting statistics on there. But while it is infinitely safer to live on Joint Base Lewis McChord, I cannot tell you that it is safer to drive on Joint Base Lewis McChord. We've got some interesting statistics here, and I'm going to throw a few at you. We average a little over 1,000 collisions a year, or about 3 a day. Now, a lot of those, about a third of those, are people who look like me trying to park in the Commissary and the PX, who probably are just backing up until it sounds expensive. We have a lot of retirees involved in fender benders in those areas. But about 2/3 of our incidents actually occur in our roadways. And every year we have about 200 accidents which are extremely serious, which involve serious injury, which involve property damage, which involve blocking roadways, which causes problems during the course of the day. And we tend to spike. For instance, last year, for those of you that were here on the first day of black ice last year, we had 26 collisions in 3 hours. It was so bad that the emergency crews from surrounding communities were actually providing our backup medical support because we just couldn't keep up. This past weekend, which was relatively benign here, it was a nice day, a nice 2 days, we had 5 collisions on the installation. So when we peel this back, about a third of all of our incidents involve aggressive, fast speed driving, and you can see the kinds of speeds that we're seeing out here. Last year on this road that's right in front of here, Nelson Rec, last year we stopped a soldier on a motorcycle going 95 miles an hour. So we have that very interesting demographic, which is very high risk. 18-year-old males between the ages of 18 and 24 who are immortal. And that group is where we see a lot of the problems. Over the past 5 years, and I went back and looked at the stats, we've had 7 fatal car crashes on the installation, 6 of which involved speed. The other fatal incident involved an individual who fell asleep at the wheel and then hit a tree. When we talk to the local police departments, and we talk to them constantly, one of the things they tell us is that when they deal with service members, they are dealing with people who tend to be aggressive in their driving, and by aggressive, you've seen this, in and out of lanes without signaling, rolling through stop signs, tailgating you as you're driving down the road pretending they're NASCAR drivers. We see a lot of that once again because of the demographic. Slide, please. Real quickly here, what we're simply trying to point out here is that distracted driving is a problem. We're seeing more of it. We are citing more of it. But what the graph at the bottom is trying to explain to you is if you're driving down the road and you are, I mean, we all do it, we're sort of cognizant of what's ahead of us. We see side streets. We kind of know what's behind us. We're focused on what's happening. And then this says cell phone. I apologize. That's so yesterday. Smartphone, okay? If a smartphone goes off or you get a text, you are distracted. Whether you answer it or not, or if you try to answer it, okay? And we've actually stopped a motorcyclist trying to text here, driving across the installation. You sort of lose visibility of what's going on, and it takes about 27 seconds from the time you just stop worrying about that phone until you're now back to where you were before in terms of situational awareness. And you can see the distances involved here of how long that takes. So for us, the focus is slow down. And by the way, I know I probably get asked the question. In the last 20 months, we have issued 3,400 citations for speeding on the installation. But we've only issued about 234 citations for distracted driving. In the state of Washington now, distracted driving is now a primary offense, so if you see it, you can stop and cite. So those statistics will go up. So the message today to you folks is please, as leaders, as community members, encourage family members, encourage the soldiers, airmen under your care to slow down a little bit, pay attention, and let's be safe. Any questions? All right, thank you, appreciate it.
So my name is Karen Fox. I'm the program manager for family advocacy, and I just wanted to update you on the last meeting that we had here last month. So at that time, we talked about the child abuse referrals to the treatment side of family advocacy, and when we looked at those second quarter numbers, we identified that a majority of those were for child neglect, and in particular for lack of supervision. So from a prevention standpoint, we looked at the risk indicators, and then we looked at the protective factors, which would mitigate some of those risk factors. And then we decided where we could make an impact. And we looked to the JBLM Child Supervision Guidelines to make that impact in creating an awareness campaign. So between that time and this time, we've gotten together with marketing, and we created an informational flyer that you see behind me. Now, these flyers are going to be distributed through CYS. We're in contact with housing, through social media, and then through our trainings. And our hope is that by increasing awareness to the fact that JBLM does have supervision guidelines, that will increase awareness, change behavior, and then maybe reduce some of those incidents and accidents that occur because of lack of supervision. So on another note, last week we had 500 teddy bears delivered to family advocacy. And on Friday, the MPs came to pick those up. And what we're doing is collaborating with the MPs, and the teddy bears are going to be going out on the road patrols, and they're going to be given to children who are involved in incidents, traumatic incidents. And what we know is that stuffed animals for children will calm them, reduce their stress, and also it's going to let the children know that the MPs are there to help. On those teddy bears, and they look very similar to that one up there, they'll have a t-shirt on them, and they have the AFCS logo with the Family Advocacy Prevention line on it. And so the individual can call that prevention line, and they'll get a program specialist. They can answer any questions they have about family advocacy program, and they can also navigate that family to on-post or off-post services depending upon what the family needs. So that's basically all I have today. I'm going to be available afterwards if you have any questions about family advocacy, and I'm going to turn it over to the next speaker, Alicia Grady.
So we got some information out, and Colonel Morgan asked that we include this because a lot of us use, well, probably all of us use social media in some form or fashion, and there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to social media. So obviously, think about what the message is that you're going to communicate. The type of message, is it consistent with military values? And then also, when you post it, make sure it demonstrates dignity and respect for self and others. These are just the 3 key pointers on the Army.mil website under social media. On your tables, each table has a social media handbook that is downloadable from this website. Recommend that leaders and FRG leaders too take the time to download that handbook, read through it. There's a lot of useful information. It's a very easy read, but it has really good tips in there. And so we just wanted you to be aware that this resource is available to you. And then I'm going to hand it over to Joe Peak, who is our Public Affairs Officer, and this is really his subject matter area.
Thank you, Alicia. Good morning. I'm Joe Peak, the JBLM Garrison Public Affairs Officer. Big thing we get questions a lot of times on the social media, and while I'm talking, I'd like to ask our command information team to come on forward. We do get questions from time to time about social media. Can I write this? Can I write that? Common sense dictates. If you're going to put a text together or an email, or you're going to put a post on Facebook and you're not quite sure whether you should put that up or not, maybe have a colleague take a look at it and ask yourself, if I post this on social media and once it's posted it never goes away, could this get me in trouble with my command or with my spouse or anybody else? And with that, on to the next slide. We just learned here at the JBLM Public Affairs Office that once again, the Northwest Guardian, your base newspaper, your only base newspaper, won the Department of Defense Defense Media Award as the best newspaper in the Department of Defense. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of this team. And I'd like to introduce them very quickly. This is Kelsey Husted. Kelsey is our Command Information Chief, and she keeps the cogs working every week. She really has everything going. Bud McKay, he is our Perry White. He is the editor of the Northwest Guardian. And next to him is Pamela Kolakis. She's our assistant editor. I'd like to call her Lois Lane, but Lois Lane is down on the end. And so next to Pamela is Dean Seaman. Dean has been with us for a couple of years. He primarily writes sports, but he covers just about everything. And then Ruth Kingsland on the end. Ruth has been with us for about 2 years or so. And she's our Lois Lane. She's out there covering everything across the base. Now, it would be, and also we don't have him here right now. He's probably over at the office working. Scott Hansen is our Jimmy Olsen. He's our photographer and our layout guy, and he puts, he's the one that's behind a lot of the layout and the headlines in the paper and everything every week. But this team puts the paper together every week to achieve the greatness that you can pick up on Friday in one of the red bins around the base. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of the soldiers and the airmen and also the civilian writers who are out there from Madigan who contribute content to the paper every week. Without those writers, we wouldn't have a paper and you would just open up a blank page. So, as you can see, we've won this award a lot of times in the past couple of years. If you would go to the next slide, if we hung up the banners for the conference, division, or championships that this team has earned over the past 10 years or so, well, this would be the New York Yankees, or I hate to say the Pittsburgh Steelers of military journalism. So once again, this is your Northwest Guardian team. They do a great job every week. Thanks, team. You're the leader. Good job. Thanks, team. And now over to Public Works.
Hello, I'm Kathy Hamilton-Wismer. I'm the Sustainability Outreach Coordinator for the Department of Public Works. You're going to see some smoke over JBLM this summer. We do prescribed burns, and they benefit the soldiers and airmen that train here, as well as the wildlife that calls JBLM home. Burns are carefully planned, and weather conditions are closely monitored to make sure operations are carried out safely. Firefighters are on site and ready to take immediate action without delay and waiting for 911 to respond. They're going to be there, so nothing's going to go wrong. But if there's a burn ban at home, just know, and there's smoke on JBLM, that it's planned. Okay, next slide. Time to deploy, time to PCS. Don't throw your good stuff away. Donate it to a thrift store. There's 2 thrift stores, one on Lewis, Maine, one on McChord. We see a lot of recyclables going in the garbage. We don't like that. We have some help for you if you need it. Phone number's there for our recycling coordinator. And check out our Sustainable JBLM Facebook page as well. Contact housing for bulk trash pickup, or they can pick up one big item, like if you have an old mattress or something like that. Next slide, please. Want to wash your car? Maybe the kids are going to get together and they're going to raise money with a car wash. Be sure and contact our stormwater program, and they'll provide you with authorized locations and best management practices. It's only rain down the drain here on JBLM, and we ask that you do car washes in certain spots like the MWR Autocraft stops, places like that. But we can help you out and make it still happen. Next slide, please. You guys heard about our Go Transit program? We've got the GoLewisMcChord.com site. It'll help you with our Go Transit shuttles. We have free service that goes on and off base now. We've got off base to DuPont. We have a regular schedule there, and we have a call for a ride if you want to get to Lakewood Town Center, maybe take the bus, hook up to go to Seattle or go to the airport. We have an option here that's One Bus Away app. When you load it, it's going to come up University of Washington, but remember that or Seattle, the app was developed by the University of Washington, and it is scheduled directly for JBLM. It loads those schedules right into your phone. I was at Newcomers yesterday. We had about 800 people come through, and most of those service members had already heard about our Go Transit program because we try and brief them as they come in. A lot of our people arrive without vehicles or a one-vehicle family. This is a huge win for our service members. Next slide, please. Our Go Lewis McChord program encompasses van pools, so if you want to do some ride sharing, we encourage that. We can hook you up with existing ride shares. We've got van pools coming from Kitsap County, Lewis County, Pierce County, King County. Whatever you're interested in, let us know. We have Go Bikes. You can check out a bike at 4 different locations across JBLM. You can have that bike for a day, for 30 days. Most popular rides from reception to Burger King. Go figure. All right, and our Go Lewis McChord Go Transit program. So thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Colonel Place.
Hey, good morning, everyone. For those of you who haven't met, I'm Colonel Mike Place. I am the commander of Madigan and a family physician. So how many of you are either males or no one? It's not a trick question. Okay, did you know that it's Men's Health Month? Go ahead, next slide. Yeah, so we get a month too. So let's talk about some things for men's health. Next slide, please. Probably for service members, this is the biggest one, right? Sleep, activity, nutrition, the performance triad. We have apps available for you to make that easier. Go ahead, next slide, please. But when we talk men's health, this is what everybody always thinks, right? Prostate, well, because you have one if you're a male, and if you're not, you don't. So, right, so this is our special gift. We don't have to have pap smears, but we have another procedure that we get. So yes, if you are of age, which is usually around age 50, probably want to come and talk to your doctor about whether or not we need to inquire further about your prostate. But that's not what most of us are here, right? We were just talking about driving. We're 18 to 24. Next slide, please. This is actually what we ought to be talking about. So I'm guessing, just across the room, don't have to raise your hand on this one, okay? How many of you in this age group actually check your testicles? Right. That's about what I get every time I do this. So this is actually the cancer risk for young men. And that's part of what we ought to be encouraging young men to do, is confirm that they don't have any masses in their testicles, because we can do something about it, right? Lance Armstrong is the poster child probably for many of our young men to say, if you find it, we can do something about it, and you can return to great health. So please help me spread the word. Next slide, please. Here's another big one that we have, low back pain, and very common among our military population. I am not a good back lifter. I did not grow up in an age when we bent at the knees and kept our back straight. We just bent over and grabbed stuff. As a result, I am now old, broken down soldier. Next one, please. What I want to make sure that everybody understands is the solution for this is not narcotics. That's a bad plan, because it gets better on its own almost always, unless trauma is involved. If trauma is involved, then we start talking about x-rays and finding out more, but for the most part, it will get better. Yes, it hurts, yes. Take some non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, Motrin, all the others, Tylenol even, okay? You will get better. So, again, help me spread the word. Next one, please. Here's another big one, sunscreen. Of the men here, how many of you use sunscreen every day? Yeah, there's only a handful of us. That's about right. Not very popular. However, we are at high risk of getting skin cancer. Those on active duty, even more so, because we spend a fair amount of time outside. So let's talk about it. Otherwise, you get to be my age and you become a skin cancer survivor. That's not what you want to have, because we just whack off parts of your skin, and then you have scars. And that is actually more likely to, guess what, have cancer all over again. So start early, do it a lot. And contrary to popular belief, your skin does get better. If you start now, it's not too late. Every day is better than the day before. Your skin actually recovers. Next one, please. Some other details. Only 14% of us actually use sunscreen. So something you can do day in, day out, just go ahead and put it on. You want to go out, you want to get on the water, don't come back cherry red. Next slide, please. Anybody that lives up in Puyallup, you ought to know this. We're finishing up our expansion of the Puyallup Clinic, the community-based medical home that we have up there, and we have extended hours there. So urgent care visits in the evenings are now available in Puyallup. Next slide, please. It is our month, but we haven't forgotten about you. For women's health, again, now's the time to come on in. MHS Genesis is coming in October, and our new electronic health record, I've talked about it a lot here. I'm sorry if anybody isn't tracking that. Enormous amount of training coming up. We're going to take some of our providers offline, some of our clinics, not entirely, but good sections of them offline to do all the training that they need to have for our new electronic health record. So get in, get your stuff done early, so your pap smears, your breast exams, mammograms, all that kind of stuff. And that way, when we actually have a slowdown in our performance for you, and clinic appointments come a little bit more difficult to get, then you'll have this all knocked out this fall. Next slide, please. Oh, and if you didn't know, we have the same thing, Facebook, Twitter, all the rest. Some interesting tidbits, pointers that come out on a regular basis for Madigan. And next slide. Okay. Well, before I leave, I want to let you know that Jay Edmondson over here, our public affairs folks, have done some refrigerator magnets. So got all kinds of good information, contact information for how to get a hold of folks. So if any of you want any of those, Jay's got a box of them here. We'll go ahead and start handing them out. Thank you very much. Buck James, the incomparable Buck James.
I'm going to cede what's left of my time, the Ministry of Fun, and of course, housing are the folks that you really want to talk to. Bottom line, we are in the middle of what we call the silly season. We've got all of our Compo 2 units here, our Guard and Reserve, really ramping up for their annual training. So again, as I talked about last community update, please be careful when you're in and around the Joint Base. A lot of troops, a lot of movements going on between the cantonment area and moving out for training. So again, especially up on Lewis North, just be aware of the fact, especially on the Pendleton underpass, we've got a lot of units that'll be transiting the combat vehicle trail to get out for training. A couple things I did want to highlight. Of course, we've got Freedom Fest coming up. We've got Vacation Bible School. That's the Chaplain's RTEP. It's an excellent opportunity to hook those kids up to the plow and get some work. Get them developed and into great citizens. The Camp Lewis Centennial events, there'll be an 18 August. The information will be coming out. A massing of the colors on Watkins Field to go ahead and mark the 100th year of Camp Lewis's founding. And then later on, there'll be a series of Camp Lewis Centennial events, opening the museum, some other stuff that you can take a look at. And then in the fall, I know we had a question about this once before. Here's a great opportunity, the fall flea market. So all of the stuff that you may have purchased from your PCSing neighbors during yard sales, great opportunity to flip it, make some money, and keep it in rotation. So I think there's a couple of vanities and a couple of dressers that have been in rotation here at Lewis, Maine for probably 20, 25 years. So again, let's keep that history going. Last but not least, for those of you that are outdoor sports enthusiasts, this is an odd year, so the pinks will be running this year, so the pink salmon will. I just want to warn you, though, if Mike Fuller tells you that he caught any fish, it is true, he's not lying, but he caught them standing on the other side of the counter at Pike Place Market. So, have a great day. I'll be followed by the best-dressed man on the Joint Base, Mr. Don Henderson.
Good morning. Just like to start off a couple things. As was mentioned earlier, before I get into the slides, it is peak season. We are having a huge turnover this year, both on the Army and the Air Force side. So, keep that in mind. But along with that, all of the exercises that are taking place here at the Joint Base this year is going to put a premium on lodging, both on the installation and off the installation. So if you have service members that are PCSing in or out of JBLM, they would behoove them at this point to start looking for reservations for off-base or on-base hotels, because it's going to be at a premium during the summer months, especially between now and the end of August as we go through peak season. And one last thing, we've already had our first barbecue fire this year in the housing area. Started in, a gentleman placed his barbecue grill at the back of the carport, caught the carport on fire, and almost burned down 2 homes. About $280,000 worth of damage. So just think safety as we move. This weekend's supposed to be nice, about 90 degrees on Sunday. Want to get out, have a good time, barbecue, but think safety and watch the barbecue grills. Don't put them too close to the house. Okay, so we had our housing survey this year from the DoD, Department of Defense, came out. JBLM had the biggest submission rate it's had in its existence here. We had a 42% turn-in rate, which I'll get to next. But one of the most important things is a young service member received 1 month's free rent, as you can see in the Beechwood communities. That was drawn by Mr. Knight and Mr. Tom Brown, who's the Vice President of Lincoln Military Housing. So that was a very good treat for that family. Next slide, please. This was the breakdown of submission rates for JBLM. Every neighborhood of the 22 neighborhoods that we had over a 25% submission rate, with the highest one being on Eagle View with over 60%. Next slide, please. The average for DoD is 30%, so we were either well at that rate or well above it. So what does that survey do for us? So for us as the government, we partner with Lincoln Military Housing, and they use that to put together a project list based on recommendations from the community and things that they see in that survey to make the community better. So as an example, in last year's survey, one of the things was, or a common theme was, fences in the backyard, especially in Parkway. So as you can see, if you drive down 41st coming in the front gate, Lincoln is building fences for those families on those houses. One of the other comments that we got was renovations in Evergreen neighborhood. So Lincoln put together a project and did renovations in Evergreen neighborhood. So they read those comments and they take actions on those comments and place projects in the outer years and fund those. So it's very important to get that into when you do the survey every year. So your comments matter. I'm not going to sit here and read the slide to you. It's pretty much the same thing what I just talked about. This is my last slide, so does anybody have any questions for housing? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Kelly Wetzel from MWR. We've got a lot of things planned for you this summer. These are just the greatest hits. If you like to dance, like country music, June 24th at the Warrior Zone coming up this weekend. And then trivia night at Sam Adams. The big one on the bottom, though, kids bowl free. Every kid on base can bowl free this summer. All you do is sign up and register them online. You can print out a voucher for 2 free games every day. You know, those kids that have been home for a couple of days from school, They can go bowling every day that they're on base this summer. Next slide, please. And then the two huge events that we've got going on. Freedom Fest, July 3rd and 4th. We've extended our run this year. So you've got 2 days to celebrate the 4th of July. July 3rd is our huge car show. If you've got a car to display, fantastic. Sign yourself up now. If you just like to look at really cool cars, this is a good opportunity to come out and look. We've got a big concert that night, or actually that afternoon. Hell's Bells out of Seattle. It's an all-female AC/DC tribute band. They are an international band, and they actually are a hoot. If you go online and look at their footage, they're great. And then the 4th of July, that's the big event. That day is open to the public. The 3rd of July is only open to military ID card holders, their family and friends. The 4th of July, we open the gates up, and that way everybody can come, have a great time. We've got a hometown carnival atmosphere going that day, and fireworks at dark, so roughly 10 o'clock that night. The other huge event is Garrison and the Lieutenant Dan Band coming back to the base. They're going to put on a great concert July 15th, and we've just added an extra event to that day. We are doing the Run, Forrest, Run. So you can come out and run. It's a 5K run, and you get a box of chocolates at the end and a T-shirt for running. And you can register for that online through about the 7th of July. And next slide, please. And then we've got a lot of things happening at the libraries on base. The Grand Staff Library with the Book Patch Children's Library inside, and then the McChord Library have a wonderful summer reading program. You can keep your kids so busy, take them bowling and then take them to the library to do some summer reading stuff, take them to the summer programs that they've got running. They've got great people coming on base. Pacific Science Center, we've got reptile folks, we've got all kinds of people coming on to keep your kids entertained and get them into reading. Mary's in the back at the table. She's from the McChord Library. If you want more information about the summer reading program or any other reading programs at the library, Novel Navigators, which is their book club, all of that stuff. Mary's got information about that in the back. And then the next slide, if you've been here long enough, you've realized we've got a restaurant out on the lake called the Bistro. But during the winter and fall, spring, folks don't necessarily want to head out because the weather's not fantastic to go sit on the lake and look at the gray. So it has reopened now as the Bistro Barbecue. They are open now, so if you're looking for someplace good for lunch, you can head out to Russell Landing to the Bistro there and pick up some really good barbecue. And then one more slide. Next up, we have Leslie Hill from the Arts and Crafts Center, and she's going to talk about the winners for the Arts and Crafts Photography Contest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just here to recognize some fantastic photography. If we could go to the next slide. I actually am missing 2 of my entries. They were not able to attend, but we had some fantastic winners. Chief Warrant Officer Veltri, she won first place, and Miss Stoney, she also won first place. Next slide. Miss Veltri also won Catwalk, third place. And if Major Shannon McLean would mind coming up. Let's see. I would like to present you with a coffee mug with your photography and also a certificate. Thank you so much. Excellent job. Okay, Miss Stoney, again, she won an honorable mention in the digital darkroom category. And then if I could invite Jason to come up. I also have a certificate and a coffee mug with his awesome photography. You're welcome. There we go. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we are just getting ready to set off our Arts and Crafts contest that starts beginning of July and runs through the end of August. So if you're interested in that, you can stop by the Arts and Crafts Center and we'll help you get that.
Good morning, leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chaplain Mark Gothier, the Garrison Chaplain and Senior Pastor for the Lewis, Maine Chapel Protestant Congregation. Chaplains love alliteration, so these are steps to sustain your summer spiritual sanity, all right? The first program is a program by Black Diamond Camp, and they're offering heavily scholarship slots to families. So somewhere within the range of $100, a service member can bring his spouse and all their kids for a week at camp. These are faith-based camps, but not in your face, faith-based camps, if you know what I mean. For the next one, Vacation Bible School, we currently have 150 kids signed up for Carter Lake and 250 kids signed up for Beechwood. What we do need, though, is additional volunteers so we don't have to turn away any kids. So if you are like the Morgans, remember the Morgans, that great movie, and your junior and senior high school kids are driving you crazy, we have the ultimate work release program. Sign them up to be crew leaders in Vacation Bible School. If there's interest, we have a background check set up for 10 o'clock to 1400 tomorrow at the Lewis, Maine Chapel congregation, just to allow all of our workers to get cleared, and good to know so we know we're safe and folks are clear working with your kids. So Vacation Bible School helpers we really need. And then an upcoming program called Faith and Family University Night. What this is a one-stop shopping for Christian education for all of your service members. We've got the Awanas program, which is 4th grade to senior high schoolers, and courses for married couples, for parenting, Financial Peace University, and then an introduction to the faith, as well as a working women's study. So Sergeant Snuffy can drive up in his minivan, everybody can get out, there's a light meal and programming for all kids and all ages that are taking place. I see a hand.
Just to clarify, over 18 for the background checks and everything for volunteering, our junior and senior high school students don't need to get background checks, correct?
I believe they do need to go through a certain check. Okay. But I can double check on that for you, okay? I heard a voice. Installation records check is what they need. And Alicia will provide more information. Any other questions in terms of your summer spiritual sanity opportunities? Well, thanks for listening.
Good morning. I'm Janet Landon with the Lewis, Maine Commissary. I briefed both Lewis and McChord. McChord Field is going to have their farmers market and Healthy Lifestyle Festival starting the 22nd through the 25th. It's a fun time to go out. We've got a lot of local products coming in. So those of you that love to get the local products, the produce is looking good. We've got the cherries and a lot of other things coming in. So go on over and have a good time, and they're going to concentrate on trying to get a lot of the good organics coming in this time. Next slide, please. Lewis, Maine Commissary and McChord Commissary will both be celebrating DECA's 150th anniversary. On July the 1st, we'll have a little ceremony inside of our store with coffee and cake afterwards. We'd like to invite everybody to come and join us. It's 150 years of serving the community and serving the best. There'll be specials in all the departments to go through the 4th of July holiday. Lewis, Maine on July the 6th, Nathan's mobile truck will be there. We don't have a time yet, but as soon as we do, we will be posting it in store. It'll be a fun day. We're going to have the truck outside serving hot dogs, and we're going to have some fun things planned. McChord Field on July 15th, we'll be having a Healthy Pet Festival. Bring your pets, all of them, the ugly, the cute, anyone that you want. They're going to have most talented and tricks and have some fun for everybody. And on July the 22nd, McChord Field is going to have a sidewalk sale, Summer in the Sun, and they're going to have a dunk tank and a pitching booth out there. So you're going to have an opportunity to do some pitching and dunk tape. If you hit 3 bullseyes, they've got prizes for everyone. Next slide, please. 4th of July is coming, and as a reminder, we all want to eat healthy. It's a good time to start planning ahead. On July the 4th, barbecues. Go ahead and do your orders now for your special meat cuts. It takes a whole lot of time to cut up those fruits and vegetables. You don't have to spend that time. We can do it for you. All you have to do is order them, and we'll have them waiting for you to pick up. So just enjoy the family and friends and let us do that work for you. And the numbers are up there for the McChord and Lewis Commissary for you to call the meat departments. Meat departments, I'm not sure if you're aware, can cut any special cut that you'd like. If you want a steak that's 2 inches thick, inch thick, half-inch thick, just let them know. They'll cut it for you. And holiday hours, one of the things we'd like to make sure everyone knows is commissaries.com is the only official website for information on the commissaries. We have a lot of people use Google and they get misinformation about our hours and operations. So commissaries.com, we are on holiday hours on July the 4th from 9 to 5 o'clock, and we will be opening regular hours every other day. Any questions? Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Pat Tinker from the McChord main store. I'm going to brief on what's going on at the McChord. In June, we've got a couple of sidewalk sales going on. We've got our Vitamix demo going on that starts tomorrow, and some sidewalk sales, and our Health Lifestyle Festival with the partnership with DECA. In July, we've got the 4th of July hours, which will be 9 to 6. That's the only day we'll have holiday hours. The rest of the days will be open regular hours. A couple more sidewalk sales, and then we have our exchange anniversary birthday on the 25th of July. So come out and celebrate with us. We'll have specials throughout the store as well as cake. Next slide. And in August, we've got a tentative grand opening. If you haven't been over to the McChord, we've done a lot of reset and moving around over there. So we're tentative in August. We're going to do a grand opening and a ribbon cutting with cake and cutting, and then a couple more sidewalk sales. So any questions? That's all I have. Thank you.
I am Serena. Good morning, my name is Serena West, and I'm the president of the Lewis Community Spouses Club. We are currently on hiatus for the summer. Activities will resume at the end of August with Super Sign Up, our membership drive. That date will be announced hopefully in the next couple of weeks here. That closure also includes the Cottage Boutique over by the thrift store. It is currently closed during normal hours, but is available if you make an appointment. The second announcement is that we are still looking to fill general board positions. If you know of people who are interested in getting involved, volunteering, contact information is here. We also have a Facebook page as well. Any questions? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Crystal Olson. I'm the outgoing president for the McChord Spouses Club. We were approached by Patra, the insurance company, to do a golf tournament, and they are fronting everything. So all the profits go back to the club, which then in turns go back to the community. This year we gave out just under $100,000. So this year we would like to increase that. So it's $85 per player. This includes a steak dinner, games, it's really, and a free beer as well. So if you'd like to sign up, it's July 22nd, tea time at 1 o'clock. We could also use a couple of volunteers to help run the event. Anyone who wants to hand out beer, you know, fun. Yeah, and we also have a game package, which is $50 for the group, which is about $12.50 a person. This includes mulligans, closest to the tee, for male and female. There will be prizes available as well. And then we will have the most fun game, I believe, is the dice game. So if you have a really hard time at, like, what is it, hole number 7, you get to roll these big fuzzy dice, and whatever the score is, that will be your score for the hole. So you could get a hole-in-one for free. All right, so if you guys have any questions, you can come see me afterwards. And the information is on our Facebook, so go ahead and sign up. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Sergeant Major White. I'm the president of the Sergeant Majors Association of the Northwest. On 18 August, we will be having our annual charity golf tournament in celebration of the centennial of Camp Lewis. We have 36 spaces for teams. Any service, any rank, and civilians are welcome. If you're a single golfer, you're more than welcome. We can place you on a team. We are a nonprofit organization. All of our proceeds go to service members and the programs that support them. And then if there's any sergeant majors, active duty, retire, or any E9s, out here we have Troy in the back. We have our applications. We have the flyers on your tables. We also have flyers in the back. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thanks everyone. Just real important note, we're gonna go a little off cycle for our August community update, so please make sure you're tracking that it's gonna be Tuesday, August 8th at 9 o'clock. It will be here, but it's a little bit different, so we'll make sure we get this out everywhere, but please help us spread the word to the change to this cycle. Thanks.
Mike, you got anything? Or did you already leave? Mike, do you have anything? Mike Fuller, do you have anything? So, Steve, you got anything? Hey, real quick, just so you understand some things, when I was talking about up front, this is your base. You heard I don't know where the Sergeant Major just went, but she's back there. So when she was talking about what she said about her golf tournament, she said the proceeds go back to the service members. And then Patra came up and talked about the golf tournament that the insurance company wanted to do on the base. They're doing it for sponsorship and so forth to get their name out. But she also told you the proceeds go back to the base. So if you don't play golf, the golf courses could possibly close. Because the way we do that is we do that because we have to make money. I learned this over the last 2 years of me doing this, is a lot of the stuff that I have responsibility for as a commander, and the next commander will, is it is generated by revenue. So if you go off base and you do things at other places and give that business revenue, which is good for the community, don't get me wrong, then we lose revenue that's on the base. And then I close it down because I can't pay for it and I can't sustain it. And then you complain about the fact that it's gone. Not just you individually or Larry Dillard on his own, but that's what happens though, because there's, over 100,000 people basically that are all tied to, stuff that we do on the base. I'll give you a great example. Sam Adams. Everybody know where Sam Adams is, right? All people did the entire time I was here was ask me when the Sam Adams pub was going to open. And it's barely making it because nobody goes. So everybody asks about it, and then we get it there, and then nobody goes. I understand that everybody's busy, and everybody's got kids, and everybody's got to deploy and stuff. I'm an infantry guy, so I've been doing this too, so I understand all that. But this is the theme about the base. It's your base and giving back to it. Because some of it's tied to the revenue, and it's not government-provided funds. We have to generate it on our own to pay salaries and expenses. And so for those services and programs and capabilities that you want, they're here for you. But it has to actually look at how you give back to the base, because in the end, it's for you. And when I say for you, I don't mean for you for like tomorrow. I mean for us and those soldiers, those E4 and below soldiers and family members that show up here next year, the year after that, 10 years from now. And so, and that's why a lot of people complain about the BAH and why you have to give up all your BAH, because it's tied to a 50-year plan, a budget. I actually looked at it and I had no idea how to figure it out, and I think I just figured it out. But that 50-year budget, it's millions of dollars, and Don Meyer just talked about that, and that's how we get some of those things fixed based off of your feedback, but it's tied to the future. You're paying it forward in a lot of ways. So again, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. It's your base. My male health is really tied to my wife's happiness. So I would just keep that in mind for all you other guys and gals. The prostate stuff, it's not that. I just turned 50. The only thing that happens is you end up going, what happened? And you wake up and it's over. So it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. So anyways, I appreciate everybody coming, and I won't be here the next one. So best of luck to all of you, and have a great week and a great summer. Thank you.